Adolf Hitler is known to everyone as a brutal dictator, responsible for millions of deaths. However, his personal life and habits were full of contradictions and strange secrets that often surprise people. Let's look at the first 4 unusual facts that reveal a different side of this historical figure. Fact 1. Adolf Hitler was a vegetarian. He completely stopped eating meat in the early 1930s. The main reason was his chronic stomach problems and constant gas. His cooks prepared special vegetable dishes for him. However, this was not a choice made out of love for animals. In fact, he often talked about how much he enjoyed meat dishes in his youth. It's a strange paradox that a man who showed so little compassion for people strictly followed a vegetarian diet. Fact 2. Despite his vegetarianism, Hitler had a real addiction to sweets. He had a very strong sweet tooth. His table was never without expensive chocolates, cream cakes, and other pastries. He consumed enormous amounts of sugar daily. His personal doctor, Theodor Morell, even worried about his leader's health because of this. So, we have a picture of a dictator who refused meat but could not resist desserts. Fact 3. Long before his political career, young Hitler dreamed of becoming a great artist. He moved to Vienna, hoping to enter the prestigious Vienna Academy of Fine Arts. However, his dreams were shattered when the Academy rejected his application twice. The examiners found his portraits and drawings technically competent but lacking in creativity and feeling, especially his human figures. It is a historical irony that the world might never have heard of Hitler if he had been accepted into art school. Fact 4. Hitler was incredibly superstitious, and he considered the number 7 to be his personal lucky charm. He saw this number as a sign of his destiny. For instance, the official program of his Nazi party consisted of 25 points. And what is 2 plus 5? It equals 7. For Hitler, this was not a coincidence, but a confirmation that his path was correct. This belief in mystical signs influenced many of his decisions. Now let's continue with the next 4 facts. They will tell us about Hitler's fears, his health, and his daily routine, which also had many surprising aspects. Fact 5. The powerful Führer of Germany had a very common fear: he was terrified of dentists. This phobia was so strong that he avoided visits to the doctor until the last possible moment. As a result, he often suffered from severe toothaches and gum problems. When he finally agreed to treatment, he demanded large doses of cocaine as an anesthetic. It's strange to imagine that a man who terrified millions was himself afraid of a simple dental drill. Fact 6. Hitler lived by a very unusual schedule. He was a true night owl. He typically went to bed between 4 and 5 in the morning and woke up around noon. This habit exhausted his entire staff and military commanders, who were forced to adapt to his rhythm. Important meetings often started late in the evening and could last until dawn. This lifestyle isolated him from the real world and distorted his perception of time and events. Fact 7. During the First World War, Hitler served as a soldier. In 1918, he was caught in a British mustard gas attack. The gas temporarily blinded him and he was sent to a military hospital. Many historians believe this event was a deep psychological trauma that made him even more bitter and hateful. Some even suggest that his extreme anti-Semitism solidified precisely during his recovery in the hospital. Fact 8. Despite his cruelty, Hitler had a soft spot for his German shepherd dog named Blondi. The dog was a gift from his secretary and became his constant companion. He allowed Blondi to sleep in his bedroom and even had special secret passages built in his bunker so she could go for walks. He considered her his most loyal friend. However, this story has a tragic ending, which we will discuss later. We are approaching the final part of our list. The last 4 facts reveal Hitler's bizarre ideas, his health problems, and the dark details of his final days. Fact 9. Contrary to the image of a strong and healthy leader, Hitler was a very sick man. He was under the constant care of his personal doctor, Theodor Morell, who prescribed him a shocking number of medications. His daily regimen included about 90 different pills and injections. These included stimulants, sedatives, and even cocaine and morphine. It is likely that this massive use of drugs affected his mental state and decision-making during the war. Fact 10. Hitler had monstrous plans for the cities he intended to conquer. His plan for Moscow, the capital of the Soviet Union, was particularly dramatic. He wanted to completely raze the city to the ground. After its destruction, he planned to flood the entire territory and create a huge artificial lake on the site of the Russian capital. This plan shows the scale of his hatred and his desire to destroy not only people, but also their culture and history. Fact 11. One of the most incredible facts is that Adolf Hitler was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in 1939. He was nominated by a Swedish politician who did it as a sarcastic protest against British policy. Of course, the nomination was not seriously considered. This event remains a strange and ironic footnote in history, showing how absurd political life can sometimes be. Fact 12. The story of his dog Blondi has a terrible end. In April 1945, when Soviet troops were in Berlin, Hitler hid in his bunker. Deciding to commit suicide, he wanted to test the cyanide capsules he had received. To make sure they worked, he forced his dog to be poisoned first. Blondi died instantly. This act symbolizes the ultimate tragedy and absolute cruelty of a man who destroyed millions of lives and did not spare his only, perhaps, true friend.
Did you like the story? Click like, subscribe to the channel, and write a comment with your ideas for new stories. Thank you for watching and practicing English with me. See you in the next video.